Why Windows Phone Failed. In the ever-evolving realm of technology, a somber resting place exists for many once promising creations. Among this collection of unfulfilled dreams, we find the tale of Windows Phone, a platform that, despite Microsoft's mighty support, fell short of its anticipated greatness. However, the fate of Windows Phone remains a perplexing question despite its promises of revolutionizing the smartphone industry. Let's explore the contributing factors surrounding its downfall. During the late 2000s, when the smartphone revolution was gaining momentum, Microsoft made a bold move to enter the market. In 2010, they introduced Windows Phone, hoping to establish their presence and compete with other players in the industry. With its sleek interface, innovative features, and the support of a tech giant, Windows Phone appeared ready to shake up the dominance of iOS and Android. Nevertheless, despite the initial excitement, Windows Phone encountered setbacks and gradually lost its prominence. One cannot help but wonder what led to this unfortunate outcome. Microsoft joined the smartphone market after rivals such as Apple's iOS and Google's Android had already established dominance. When Windows Phone debuted in 2010, it faced a challenging landscape. iOS and Android had already established themselves as dominant players in the market, posing a formidable obstacle. Developer support's a crucial element that can make or break the success of any platform. Unfortunately, Windows Phone faced difficulties in enticing developers to its platform. Due to its smaller user base, developers were less motivated to invest time and resources into creating apps for Windows Phone compared to iOS and Android. Consequently, the platform faced a dearth of widely used and necessary apps, leading to a decline in its attractiveness to consumers. The need for a robust app ecosystem was a significant drawback for Windows Phone. Many popular apps available on iOS and Android needed to be included or had inferior versions on the Windows Phone platform. This deficiency made it challenging for users to find and use the apps they relied on daily, ultimately driving them away from the Windows Phone's devices. Microsoft's decision to build Windows Phone on a new kernel rather than using the same core as the Windows desktop created compatibility issues. This decision meant that existing Windows mobile apps could only run on a Windows Phone with significant modifications, resulting in a lack of continuity for users and developers transitioning to the new platform. Unlike Android, which runs on a wide range of devices from various manufacturers, Windows Phone was limited to a few hardware partners. This lack of hardware diversity meant that Windows Phone devices were often perceived as needing more innovation and variety compared to their Android counterparts. Additionally, the absence of flagship devices that could compete with the iPhone and high-end Android smartphones further hampered Windows Phone's appeal to consumers. Microsoft needed help with marketing and promoting Windows Phone effectively. Despite having a unique user interface and innovative features like live tiles, Microsoft needed to convey the value proposition of Windows Phone to consumers adequately. Moreover, the perception of Windows Phone as a third-place platform behind iOS and Android further eroded consumer confidence and interest. Microsoft's strategy for Windows Phone evolved, leading to confusion among consumers and developers. The company made several significant changes to the platform, such as rebranding from Windows Mobile to Windows Phone, transitioning to Windows 10 Mobile, and discontinuing support altogether. These shifts in strategy created uncertainty and instability, further diminishing trust in the platform. In many markets, carrier partnerships play a crucial role in the success of a smartphone platform. However, Windows Phone needed help to secure vital partnerships with carriers, particularly in the United States. Without robust carrier support and marketing efforts, Windows Phone faced an uphill battle gaining visibility and market share against entrenched competitors. While Windows Phone introduced a fresh and innovative user interface with live tiles, its departure from a traditional app grid layout confused and alienated some users. The radical redesign required users to adapt to a new way of interacting with their devices, which may have deterred those accustomed to the more familiar interfaces of iOS and Android. Initially, Microsoft positioned Windows Phone as a platform suitable for enterprise users, emphasizing features like Office integration and enterprise-level security. However, this narrow focus on business users limited its appeal to the broader consumer market, where iOS and Android offered a more diverse range of apps and services, catering to personal and professional needs. While Microsoft attempted to differentiate Windows Phone by leveraging its ecosystem of products and services, including Windows Desktop and Xbox Gaming, the integration could have been more seamless. Users did not perceive significant benefits from using Windows Phone with other Microsoft products, limiting the platform's appeal compared to the seamless integration offered by iOS and macOS or Android and Google services. Due to the complexity of Microsoft's developer skills and APIs, developers often face challenges and limitations when creating apps for Windows Phone. This resulted in slower development cycles, lower quality apps, and fewer innovative features and apps on competing platforms. platforms. Additionally, the lack of comprehensive developer support and resources hindered the growth of Windows Phone app ecosystem. Despite efforts to create consistency across devices with the Windows Phone platform, fragmentation persisted due to differences in hardware specifications and manufacturer customizations. This fragmentation led to inconsistencies in performance, compatibility issues with certain apps and services, and a need for uniformity in user experience across different Windows Phone devices. By the time the Windows Phone entered the market, iOS and Android had already established themselves as dominant players with extensive app ecosystems, strong brand recognition, and loyal user bases. Breaking through the duopoly of iOS and Android proved an insurmountable challenge for Windows Phone, especially as consumers were already heavily invested in these platforms with their existing app libraries and ecosystems. Despite initial excitement surrounding Windows Phone's launch, Microsoft needed to capitalize on early momentum and innovate quickly enough to keep pace with competitors. While iOS and Android continued to evolve with new features, updates, and ecosystem improvements, Windows Phone stagnated, needing more opportunities to introduce compelling new features and experiences that could attract users and differentiate the platform. Microsoft's commitment to supporting and updating Windows Phone waned over time, decreasing user confidence and satisfaction. Slow or infrequent software updates, lack of new features, and eventual discontinuation of support for older devices left users feeling abandoned or disillusioned, further contributing to the platform's decline in popularity and relevance. Windows Phone faced challenges in gaining strong support from mobile carriers, especially in the United States. Carriers often prioritized promoting iPhones and Android devices due to their established popularity and consumer demand. As a result, Windows Phone struggled to secure prominent placement in carrier stores and receive practical marketing support, hindering its visibility and adoption among consumers. The Windows Phone platform suffered from a significant app gap compared to Android and iOS, with many popular apps and services either unavailable or offering inferior versions. Developers are often reluctant to prioritize Windows Phone due to its smaller user base and lower revenue potential than iOS and Android. Microsoft's efforts to incentivize developers through financial incentives and promotional support needed to be more sufficient to bridge the app gap and attract top-tier app developers to the platform. While Windows Phone offered a unique and visually appealing user interface with live tiles, its customization options were limited compared to Android. The users couldn't personalize their devices to the same extent, leading to a perception of uniformity and a need for far more differentiation among Windows Phone devices. This lack of customization may have deterred some users who valued the ability to personalize their smartphones according to their preferences and styles. Another reason behind the failure of Windows Phone can be traced back to Microsoft's inability to foresee and adjust to essential industry trends and changes in consumer preferences. While Apple and Google eagerly adopted the latest trends like touchscreen interfaces, app stores, and cloud services, Microsoft's approach to Windows Phone seemed to need to catch up, leaving the impression that they were playing catch up rather than leading the way. The platform's failure to adapt and stand out in the face of shifting market dynamics ultimately hindered its ability to compete and stay relevant in the smartphone industry. In hindsight, the failure of Windows Phone was a culmination of various factors, from its late entry into a fiercely competitive market to its struggles with developer support, app ecosystem, and carrier partnerships. Despite its innovative features and initial momentum, Windows Phone ultimately failed to gain the traction needed to compete effectively with iOS and Android. As we bid farewell to Windows Phone, it serves as a cautionary tale in the ever-evolving landscape of technology, a reminder that even the mightiest of giants can stumble in their quest for dominance.